Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 44 of Direwolf20's Let's Play. Just logging in here today, as you can see, checking out my equivalent exchange room. Got a good amount of EMC in here, but not quite enough. I'm hungry for EMC. I want to really start crafting some of the more crazy and nifty items that are available in equivalent exchange. And I'm thinking one of these little Mark III relays with some collectors all around it just ain't going to cut it for me. So what I'm considering doing is going ahead and crafting a few more of them. I'm thinking about grabbing one more Mark III relay. There we go. And I'm going to get some more Mark III collectors. I'm going to see how many I can get with the EMC that I've currently got. Hopefully a good number. And then I'll wind up having two relays running at the same time. And that'll help me to, pretty much double my EMC income. That'll be pretty slick. And then I'll probably start upgrading my Klein stars soon. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and do this. So how about I, flop back and forth here between transmutation table and collector and see what kind of luck we can get. Yeah, I may not be able to get quite as many of these things as I want, but we'll see. Alright, so far I've got up to 3 collectors. I might want to go over here. Where's my red power stuff? And grab some tungsten. 28 sounds like a good number to grab. I only grabbed about half of what I had over there. I'm going to burn this stuff up. It's about time. There we go. That got me some more EMC. That'll be cool. Looks like I got a healthy amount of it from there. Going to go ahead and try and get one more of these Mark III collectors, and that's probably good. I might be able to get one more of them, but I want to have some EMC left over for, doing stuff with. So once this guy's, filled back up for the most part, I'm going to go ahead and take my collectors here, and I'm probably going to move this guy. See you, buddy. And drop him probably right over here next to my condenser. And then what I'm thinking of doing, basically, is setting up a similar little system to what I have here, but putting it right here. So that I'll have the antimatter relay on this side, collectors here, maybe back here would be cool. And because I'm not going to be using this to feed my systems, I should be able to place one down here as well. And from what I understand, antimatter relays give off a light level of 15, which means that you can place, see how this guy is fully lit up, your collectors underneath your antimatter relays, as long as they're Mark III's. So that's pretty cool. That should work out pretty well for us, actually. And this guy should be giving off a good amount of light, but if I were to put a thingy right here like that, let's see. Oh yeah, see? Lights are out because there's a block up there. So I should probably go ahead and get myself... Excuse me, I want my Klein star back. Go ahead and get myself another piece of glowstone. Where we got one there. Yeah, that's cool. That guy should just sit right there. And now this thing should be nice and bright. So that'll just allow me to have my, door closed there, or the thingy, whatever. And everything's good. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of these awesome Mark III collectors hanging out right here. I'll put a 5th one on the top once I've got enough EMC for it. I don't know how we're doing here. Not too bad. So yeah, what I'm thinking here is probably one more. Why not? I still have enough EMC to hang out. And we'll do one more right up top here. So now we've got 5 of these guys all around this. So this Mark III collector is now producing the same EMC input as this one. And I'll probably wind up doing another pressure plate thingy right here in front of this antimatter relay, just like this one. But I just don't have the EMC to produce a 6th collector just yet. But soon. Alright, so now that I've effectively doubled my income of EMC, hopefully I'll be able to start making cool stuff soon. And then let's go check on our other stuff going on around this place. Looks like I've got a decent amount of peat going on. I don't think I'm quite ready yet to turn off my peat farm, but for now it's doing pretty well. Want to just kind of take a look around here, make sure everything's running smooth. I want to check out my nuclear reactor down under my base. I'm not quite sure if I want to get to building that cosmic reactor this episode or not. It might start this episode and then maybe finish next, but we'll see. How do we make out down here? This guy's reactor heat is nice and low. Look at that, down to 1. Sweet. If we open this thing up, you'll notice that the integrated heat dispersers are cooling, so everything's good. I'm going to go ahead and take my near depleted uranium cell out of there. That should work out pretty well. My Lapitron charging system is still running. Everything looks to be fully charged. I did want to consider something else to do with that Lapitron charging system, by the way. There's a minor change I'd like to do to that. We might make it this or next episode. Still trying to get that Industrious Queen. No such luck so far, but I do have this Majestic Noble hybrid going. I'm hoping that becomes a Majestic Purebred, and then I'll have the next tier of the Noble branch. And my Sinisters are still producing quite a bit of the Simmering Combs for me, so that's cool. Alright. And this thing's still, of course, pumping out beeswax. There's a lot of beeswax to pump out. And I'm down here in my little magma facility, the lava production area here, and I'm changing this up. I'm changing the iron AND gate to react to the lever here. What I'm basically doing is telling the gate that space for liquid and redstone signal in order to emit your red pipe signal. And this guy needs, well, I don't need this part, so we can just get rid of this. That should be fine. But I do want to get out of my red bag, maybe? No, I think it's in my green bag. I gotta get more organized with all these bags. I want to run this guy over to here and tell this thing space for liquid and redstone signal, wherever it is. There it is, to emit a redstone signal. So now what I can do here, and I knocked this off like a fool, is basically turn this lever off, and this is emitting a redstone signal. So that needs to be a repeater, I'm thinking. Do I have one of those? Probably not. Alright. Give me, no, wait. What's this doing? Oh, right. This guy's keeping it on. That's the problem. So this needs to be a repeater, basically. So that it's kind of one way. So give me a moment to consider how to fix that. Alright, so let's look at the problem that I've got right here. I don't need this stuff anymore. Or, oh yeah, I still need that one. Basically, the issue that we've got is that this guy's conditional is set to space for liquid, emit redstone signal. But in here, we have space for liquid, but we don't have any phosphor in the inventory. That's causing a problem, because basically we're wasting buildcraft energy right now. We don't have any way to detect, at this moment, whether there's phosphor in here. Now, I could open up this conditional, and you'll see that there's items in inventory. But that's currently true, because, yeah, there's items in there. There's cobblestone. Problem. So how can we resolve that? Well, we're simply going to grab a new type of gate. Here's the golden AND gate. Okay, check this guy out. First off, as you may note, there are more conditional options available. So you can have as many as 4 different conditionals. All right, so that is awesome. Now what we can do here is check space for liquid. There you go. And you'll note that there's this other little slot here. I'm going to get into what that does right now, actually. Basically, we want to go ahead and do over here items in inventory, which is currently true, right? And I'm going to place phosphor in there. Note that it's now false. Items in inventory is true because, yeah, there's items in there. There's cobblestone. But if I put phosphor in there, you can see that it's false. There is no phosphor in the inventory. Problem. So that is what's going to protect us, and then we can go here, redstone signal, redstone signal. So this will only emit a redstone signal now when there's space for liquid and there's phosphor in the inventory. So if we put phosphor back in there, ta-da, it's happy again. And as soon as it uses up all that phosphor, which I'm going to let it do now, it should switch its conditional from phosphor items in inventory, goes off, and it's no longer emitting a redstone signal. So this is just a little bit more efficient way of doing this. Yes, it needs 2 pieces of phosphor to run, and yes, it will detect if there's only 1 piece of phosphor in there, but I think that's pretty much the best we can do. So we'll let that hang out and do its thing, and I'll come back in a little bit to check on it. Alright guys, I think it's time to build that Cosmic Reactor now. Let's go ahead and place down an orange portal here, just so I can get back and forth to my main base as quickly as possible. I'm going to head back down into my underground area and see what we can do. Alright, so let's get started. I'm going to start digging around in my bags here and find all the tools I'm going to need. I'm probably going to want this guy at some point. Definitely going to want you. Might need this thing out. We'll see. So let's get going. I'm also going to, while I'm in my bags of fun here, I'm going to grab this guy out just because he's fun to dig with. Let's see. I want to go 3 tall shot mode. Why not? Okay, And let's do it. I'm thinking right here might be a good shot. Boom. That looks good. Now, I'm not quite sure exactly how deep I'm going to want to go with this, so I probably want to have a decently sized room back here, because what I'm going to have to do is pretty complicated. I'm going to need a lot of space for it. So bear with me a moment or two while I dig in a dark cave. There we go, a little bit brighter. Not even sure if this is big enough, but we'll see. I also want this to be a little bit taller of a room, so let's take care of that real fast. Gotta love how much easier it is to clear out spaces with this destruction catalyst, don't you? Really makes for doing stuff lots easier. Anytime I play on a server that doesn't have equivalent exchange installed, it's like, oh man, that sucks. Not that I play on servers all that often, to be honest with you guys. Just clearing out some of the inventory that I collected. Alright, a little bit more. So is this room big enough? Honestly, not sure. But, do I want it to go like one more deep? Yeah, I wanna make sure I have plenty of room to work with in here, because like I said, what I'm about to do is going to be pretty complicated. There we go. And get these guys cleaned up. Much better. Alright, let me make this room look nice, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, next thing I did after making this whole room white marble-ish, except for this wall, because it shares with this wall. I might do something about that, but we'll see. I might even knock down this whole wall, but I'm not sure exactly how I want the design to be just yet. I'm going to go ahead and fill in some lamps here. What I'm decided to do was, just put a few lamps in, maybe here. I don't know. Let's see, there's 3 from there, and it's 2 from the wall. 1, 2, 3, and that's 1 from the wall. So that's not going to be even. I might need to go 1 block deeper. I don't know. Let me find a good light design here, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I played around with a couple light patterns here and decided I liked this one. Just flying up here with my Swift Wolf's ring and, taking care of business. Getting the lights placed down all around here, and I'm gonna have to do some like redstone wiring or torches or something inside these walls to get these lights to stay on all the time. Probably don't need to do a lever. These things should pretty much always be on, but maybe I will just for fun. One way or another, let me get the redstone wiring going, and then we'll see if this is enough light for this room. And you can see me hanging out behind my wall here. I'm not filming all this stuff because it's not terribly entertaining at the moment. But as you can see, using the dark matter pickaxe here on the 3x wide shot mode definitely helps to dig out the ceiling a little bit, making it easier to get up to my lights. Just, getting this guy all cleared out and running some red cabling around the bend here. Kind of like this. Just like that. And if I get up here and do something like this, I just need to get myself some more redstone cabling, which I have plenty of red alloy ingots from the last time I cooked some up. So let's get a, handful of these guys going. That should be enough for now. And then, we're almost there with the lighting, and then we can get started building some cool stuff in this room. So let's see how this room looks with everything lit up and looking purty. There we go. A lot of junk to collect, as you can see, but that's why I've got my ender chest here to take care of me. So let's go check everything out. I'm going to grab my bricks here and close this wall up. Oh yeah, this room looks nice. Ooh, I missed a light back there, didn't I? How did I do that? Bad direwolf. There we go. Ah, that works. So let's get back out front and see how everything looks nice in this room, I hope. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice and bright. Everything's looking sharp. I think that's enough light level all around this room for you guys to be able to see it on YouTube. And yeah, that looks solid. And I did go with a light switch just because I'm a nerd and love doing that kind of thing. So let's get the torches out of here. Nice. And turn the lights on and see. Oh yeah, plenty bright. Perfect. All right, now let's get to building. Alright, the first thing I'm going to do is just clear out this nuclear reactor of all this stuff. And I'll let it all get sorted up to my whatchamacallit, miscellaneous junk chest. I should have enough room in there, but I mean, hey, if I don't, we'll find that out pretty soon. It'll gum up my system, but that's alright, not too worried. And then once these guys are all cleaned out, I want to get my integrated heat dispersers as well. So that's right, I won't be using any of these in the next system. Let's head back to our base and just make sure there's enough room for all that stuff. I might need to store them in a separate chest because my overflow chest probably don't want all that stuff going in there. So yeah, it's all going and hanging out there. So I'll move that in a little bit, probably off camera. Now the next thing to do is to kind of come up with a plan on how I want to do this. First off, I can no longer have this bottom reactor chamber. The reason for that is pneumatic tubes and, for that matter, Buildcraft pipes, if I get some here, you'll see what I'm talking about, will not connect to either this little guy right here. So see how he's not connected to this block? Okay, now that's the block that was built specifically for the force field mod, but let's try connecting it to this nuclear reactor chamber. Okay, so I'm knocking this thing off, and pneumatic tubes right here. Again, no such luck. Not going to connect. So we have to get rid of this thing. Thank you very much. And try connecting from the bottom. Ah, look, we can connect. Hooray. So the nuclear reactor here, we need to connect this tubing to the bottom. And since we're connecting this guy to the bottom, we're not going to be able to run our fiber optic cables from down there. So we're going to want to put them right there on the side. So we're going to wind up moving these guys. Now, the other thing to note here is I'm not going to really be able to use fiber optic cables for this purpose because I'm about to create a reactor which produces more than 512 energy units per tick, and that's the limit on a fiber optic cable. So if I were to use fiber optic cables, they just instantly melt. So for now, I'm just going to leave this stuff covered up here, but this is where my power line is going to come off of. And if you don't know what cable to use to take care of this, don't worry, we'll figure it out together. It's the high voltage cable, FYI. But I'm going to need a high voltage transformer eventually to be able to connect it into the MFSU, because if you put more than 512 into an MFSU, it will explode. And that would be a pretty dangerous and not cool loss of 10 diamonds. So don't want to have any MFSUs explode on me. So now that we've got a way of pumping items into our nuclear reactor, we have to decide what we're going to pump into our nuclear reactor. There's a couple different items that you can put in there that kind of get like an instant use, automatic cool it off type of thing. And let's head back to our room in here and see what we can do. We've got a bunch of snowballs hanging out, which is convenient. I don't remember where they came from. A long time ago I got them. Whatever. And I've also got some water buckets here. So let's take a look at what's going to happen if we use snowballs, water buckets, etc. to help cool off a nuclear reactor. So I'm just going to fill this guy up with water. Get attacked by a spider on the way out there. Not a big deal. Cover my wall back up. And let's head back in there with, I'm probably going to want to grab some uranium. So while I'm at this, why don't I just take a whole stack of uranium and run it through my compressor. That's an extractor, right? So let's go ahead and do this. Compressor, no, that's also an extractor. Where's my compressor at? Oh yeah, it's right here. So let's run this guy through. And what that should wind up doing is creating some refined uranium for me. That'll be good to have. It's all going to head its way up to my, this guy over here. So maybe I'll just let that hang out right there as it is. But I'm going to grab a couple pieces here. Probably just 4 of them should be good to suffice for now. And while I'm at it, I'll grab 4 empty cells and get myself some uranium cells. Perfect. Beautiful. And I'll let that system continue to make stuff for me. And head in here. One more thing I need to do, actually, before I do that. Let's get, if I show you guys the singularity compressor again and throw some snowballs in there, you'll note that it creates ice. So singularity compressors or regular compressors produce ice when you feed them snowballs. So this is going to be part of the way we make our causic reactor here. Now you could get, if I wanted to show you this piece, there's a couple different ways to do this. I'm going to show you guys some options real fast. Let's go back outside because I want to get myself a water cell. There we go. And scoop up another bucket of water, thank you. Sure, I could have just requested it, but it was faster to do it that way. So leave that uranium in there. Got my water cell, water bucket, etc. Now, if I place my water cell in the singularity compressor, it makes a snowball, which is cool, and the snowball becomes ice. But the one downside of doing it that way is we just used some tin to do that. And the amount of cooling that we're going to need in this Cosmic reactor, tin, we don't want to be like running out of that stuff. And it'll probably take us all 5 minutes to run out of tin by doing that much cooling. So we're not going to go with the water cell approach to create snowballs. So let's pop in here real quick, get our nuclear reactor turned off, put some uranium cells in there. 4 ought to do it, and turn it on for a moment. And you'll see we're producing heat. Lots and lots of heat getting built up in there. Okay, so right now we've got about 700 and something, right? And it's slowly depleting. Now if we open this guy up and place a bucket of water in there, maybe the reactor has to be on for it to use the water. Or maybe not. Okay, that's cool. Let's go ahead and turn this guy off again and put some ice in there. Notice how the ice is getting used up pretty frequently too, and it quickly dropped our reactor heat down. So we have about 13 ice in there, and if we turn this guy on, it's going to keep running, and as soon as it gets to the 300 point, it's going to instantly drop. So what we learned from this basically is that the ice will cool this off 300 reactor heats every second or so. So that's an interesting effect. I could have sworn water buckets worked in there, but I guess they're not working or don't work anymore. I don't know. So we'll turn this reactor off because we don't want any more heat buildup in there. Make sure it's as cool as can be. Perfect. So ice is the way we're going to wind up cooling off this nuclear reactor. Water buckets, like I said, could have sworn they used to work, but maybe changed. Water cells we don't want to use to create our snowballs, to create our ice. Now I will show you guys that there is a pretty easy way to do this build. We could just use our condenser here, place ice in the target slot, and just hook up like even a Mark I collector here. And that would produce so much ice we wouldn't know what to do with it. As you can see, ice is worth 1 EMC, or about the same amount as a piece of cobblestone. So every piece of cobblestone that goes in here, we produce some ice. That's cool, but it seems to me like that's almost too easy, and I want to do a big, fun, complicated build, because that's what Direwolf likes to do, big, fun, complicated builds. But a very simple method of doing this, maybe I'll show it to you in my test world at some point, or you can check out Shadow Dragon's channel. He did this as well. He's in my other plant channels playlist, by the way. You can find Shadow Dragon if you go through my channel. He pretty much set it up so that you have a filter from Red Power 2 pulling a stack of ice out of here at a time and trying to put it into his nuclear reactor. And that will pretty much keep this reactor cool. But like I said, I want to do a little bit more complicated build just for fun. So that's what I'm going to be doing in this room, is building a ice generating station. And it's going to create ice using singularity compressors. And hey, what's up, skeleton? Singularity compressors and snowballs. So what's a good source of snowballs, you might ask? Let's go find one. Popping into my equivalent exchange room, let's see how my Mark III relay is doing here. See, yeah, we've got a bunch of EMC rebuilt up in here, and if we check this one, we have a similar amount. So these guys are producing the same amount of EMC pretty much concurrently. And what I want to build right here is called the... what's it called? It's one of the rings. Ah, there we go. 0 ring. This thing is cool. I'm going to need some snow and some snowballs and 2 dark matter and an iron band. So let's get that going real fast, shall we? I'm going to go ahead and need my vulcanite amulet, which I've got here. And I'm going to need some iron. So I'm going to grab some out of my chest here. 8, please. And I'm curious of something, by the way, while I'm here babbling on about this. Let's go ahead and craft that guy. Iron band. Does iron band have an EMC value? Because if it does, then it might be easier. No, it doesn't. So no teaching my iron band. Okay, so I need to get out of here 2 pieces of dark matter, and I'll get this glass out of the target block. Burn that up for me. 2 pieces of dark matter. 1, 2. And I'll get some snow and some snowballs. So there we go. And 2 more. And I think it's like this to make snow, right? Yep, cool. Alright, so that recipe was iron band, dark matter, snow, and snowballs. Perfect, I got the zero ring. That is cool. Definitely like the zero ring, lots of fun. Let's go outside and check out all the different abilities the zero ring has. Alright, zero ring has just a few abilities, and one or two that I'm most excited about and going to be using here. First off, left click throws a snowball. Ha ha ha, take that, sheep. So, lots of fun doing that. You can also right-click this guy, and you'll notice that it puts a 3x3 square around the player, which is perfect. So there you go, snow on the ground. Sweet. How cool is that? You can also charge it up if you want, to place a bigger square of snow around your player. So you can see that was a bigger spot, but perfect. Pretty much what I'm going to be using it for. There we go. See? And then G, if you press G with it, will automatically create snow all around you kind of as you walk along without having to click or do anything. What this is really fun for, by the way, is let's say you've got like a lake or something and you want to go run across it and pretend you're Iceman. It will also freeze water, so let's check that out. Let's run over here, turn it on, and look at that. Just create ice as you run across the lake. And if you're not in the snow biome, I'm pretty sure this stuff will, melt eventually. But we'll come back later and maybe check on that to make sure it did melt. Same for the snow, maybe? I don't know. I'll clean up the snow later if it doesn't melt. We'll see. But anyway, the cool thing about this is that, if you right-click it, it creates snow on the ground. What do you think I might wind up doing with that? Well, it should be pretty obvious what I'm going to do with that. Look at me, low on wood. About to show you guys what I want to build, and I'm out of wood. Typical direwolf, right? Hey, much better. So where was I? Oh yeah, building something. I'm going to grab a chest. There we go, with a piston. And a piece of redstone. And some cobble. Will get me a deployer. Neat. Now let's go back down into this room over here. And let's say we want to place our deployer right there. And get out my screwdriver from my bag. Reorient this guy facing downwards. And place my void ring inside. No, my zero ring. That one. Yep, I know what I'm doing. Trust me. So, just as a demonstration, I'll place a lever on this guy, or maybe on a block next to him. And let's see what happens. When we receive a redstone signal, deploy. Sweet. I like it. So that's what's going to happen whenever we deploy. Now we're going to wind up having, a block on top here. So let's just demonstrate what it's like when we really have an actual block on this guy. Because I don't want snow up there. Not that it hurts anything. See? No snow on top. So every time we activate this thing with a redstone signal, and I'm purposely not using a shovel here because I don't want to collect all this snow. Boom, more snow on the ground. Perfect. And you'll note that it doesn't even use EMC, so I don't have to put an Klein star or nothing in there. It's just going to freely create snow for me. Now another way you could do this, if anybody's looked up YouTube videos on caustic reactors, is if you get a snowman and trap him inside a little case, you can also create snow for free. So yeah, I could go with snowman, but this is just a lot more fun for me. I don't know why. Snowmen do work, though, so go ahead and use a snowman if you're not using equivalent exchange. But I don't know. I think this method is cooler. All right, back to building. The next thing I'm going to do here is build something else. So what I'm doing next is building myself a bunch of these guys, iron pickaxes. And if I combine that with that and some cobble along the side, that should work. I'll get myself a block breaker. Perfect. And as you guys noticed, we went with a 3x3 pattern with those with that zero ring. So it gave me a 3x3 of snow. So guess how many block breakers I'm making? That's right, 9. Ha, perfect. Perfect. So that is how I'm going to get the snow off the ground. So let's try that out real quick after I get myself a few more pieces of cobble, just to make sure that I've got everything I want. There we go. Perfect. So let's head back down there and replace all the ground underneath this thing with block breakers. Now I'm going to have to, of course, get underneath here in a few minutes to collect all this snow and, you know, do stuff with pneumatic tubes and whatnot. But for now, just going to place them down there. And then if I open up this bag, I've got some redstone tubes. How am I for pneumatic tubes? Am I, like, out of them or something? Or do I have them hiding in another bag somewhere? Yeah, I'm probably just going to have to make a few more. I'm sure they're in my bags and I just don't see them, as usual. So let's go ahead and do my red bag again and get out the brass ingots. And if I go into my green bag, I'll get myself some more cobblestone. So let's do this. There we go. Plenty of pneumatic tubes. Get these guys back and put my brass back away. That's why I carry that stuff. What I want to do now is make, I don't know, like 20, that should be good, redstone tubes. Now remember, redstone tubes, as you guys saw an episode or two back, will continue a redstone current through the tube and activate whatever machine it's connected to, if the machine receives redstone, of course. So I'm just going to place these guys all down like so. Ta-da! Now getting out of this flooring, of course. And I'll clean this floor up in a moment or so. So let's just demonstrate how this is going to work for the moment by taking this thing up here and maybe just making a chest as a demonstration purpose. There we go. Perfect. So what we want to do, placing this chest down like right here, might be a nice spot, is set up a timer. And do I have one of those in my nifty little bags? Timer. Perfect. I'm going to need a lever at some point. I'm going to need some red alloy wiring. I'm probably going to need some, let's see, get this guy out of there. Okay, so let's cut up some smooth stone. Get some smooth stone covers. There we go. And get myself some stone jacketed wire. Perfect. And maybe I want to get one more set of those just to have it. Can't hurt to have, right? I'm going to need to put something away. Marble bricks, why not? Maybe hang on to a few of those just because I might need to build in the future. Yeah, one of these guys. Make another set. Or I already made hollow stone covers because I'm a noob. Alright, let me get myself a few more of them. There we go. And more stone jacketed wiring. Perfect. So I hope I've got everything I need real quick. Now I'm going to go ahead and just demo this in a rough draft kind of format. This won't be the final design, but at least for now you'll get the concept of what I'm going with here. I'm going to want to do something like this. If I get my stone jacketed wiring here, and place this guy, and no, I don't want him there. I want him here. There we go. And probably run this wire up here. To right about here, where I'm going to place down my timer, like that. And I'm going to need a lever. So let's craft one of those real fast. I'm sure I've got one in my bags somewhere, but crafting is quicker than looking in bags. And then from here, I'm going to put this guy running straight up to here. And get this lever off the top. There we go. Perfect. So let's see what happens when I activate the timer. See? Ta-da! We're making snowballs. And we can do this as fast as we want. Nice. And then turn off the lever. Snowballs stop producing. So cool. So cool. So what's happening, in case you're not following along, is the redstone wiring here is both activating the deployer, which activates the 0 ring and creates snow, and immediately after that, the red pneumatic tubing is carrying along that redstone signal to each of these deployers, or block breakers, I'm sorry, and breaking the snow, taking the snowballs, and whoosh, right into the chest. So look how much snow I produced in like the 5 seconds that I was battling on. So that is the start of my caustic reactor. And as usual, I was babbling on and lost track of time, so I'm going to have to say it's a good wrapping up point for this episode. This has been episode 44 of Direwolf20's Let's Play. Hope you guys enjoyed checking it out and following along. Stay tuned for next time when I'm going to turn these snowballs into ice and then start working on a method to get them directly into here. Alright, take it easy.